They're not playing with any freedom in that moment. Yes, when it's 0-0 or when they go 1-1, then it opens up again and they go for it, and you get a sense that the players are playing with a little bit more on the front foot, a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker, bodies getting forward, and I'm scratching my head. Fulham deserved to come back. You could just sense that they were going to score when they did. They had 3 or 4 good attacks just before, and I'm sitting here thinking, Spurs, you've got to get hold of the ball again if you're going to win this game. They've got to go and attack a little bit more to get the second goal, and they're not doing it at the moment.
Yeah, plenty more analysis from Glenn and Michael to come, but let's just summarise everything that's happened over the last couple of days in the Premier League. A 1-1 draw it finished here between Tottenham and Fulham. Yesterday, Sheffield United got their first win of the season by beating Newcastle by 1-0. Manchester United winning on the road yet again, this time at Turf Moor. That 1-0 victory for them took them top of the Premier League table. An away victory for Everton as well at Molineux, 2-1 winners over Wolves. And tonight, earlier on, we saw Manchester City move into the top 4 of the Premier League table after their 1-0 win over Brighton and Hove Albion. Still another game to come tomorrow as well, as Arsenal take on Crystal Palace. So what does that all mean for the table so far? Well, Manchester United went top and 3 points clear of Liverpool with their win yesterday. Manchester City moving up into 3rd place after their win over Brighton. And it means that Tottenham, who only took a point against Fulham tonight, remain in 6th place in the Premier League table, missing out on the opportunity to move into that top 4. Looking at things at the bottom half of the table, and Fulham, although they fought back to win a point, they still remain in the bottom 3 of the table. They're now on 12 points, so just 2 points behind Brighton in 17th place, but with 2 games in hand, Fulham, so they can certainly make up those points with those games in hand if they play their cards right. More analysis to...
Feeling, though, one of disappointment, because you did have chances to actually take all 3 points today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we had a couple of chances in the second half just to kill the game, but didn't quite take them and got punished for it, you know. Still feel like we could have played better second half, especially. Didn't quite keep the ball well enough. And yeah, it's disappointing, of course, whenever you're leading, especially at home. Whenever you've got the points, it's never easy to take.
Is there any sort of concern within the team that you do concede quite a lot of goals in the second half? I think that's the 12th Premier League goal you conceded in the second half this season. Yeah,
I think we need to get better at it, especially when we're leading in games, to get on the ball more, keep it, tire the opposition out. It seems at the moment we're panicking a little bit, dropping too deep, and then the pressure comes and they can get across like they did and score a goal. So yeah, we need to take control a little bit more. And yeah, we need to turn it around quick because it's happened too many times this season. And
a word on your goal, it was a fine header. You know, you score a lot of goals, the team as a whole, in the sort of first half. Is that really important to the way that you play?
Yeah, I think so. I think probably we start the games better than we finish them at the moment. And yeah, it was good to get the goal. We had a couple of chances to kill the game off, like we said earlier. But yeah, we've got to take them. But like I said, second half disappointing. It's been the story of our season so far, so we've got to try and turn it around quick.
And do you feel it's a bit of a missed opportunity to move back into the top 4? Do you feel that there's plenty of time to be able to do that?
No, definitely a missed opportunity. I think, of course, we want to win every game, and we can see how tight it is at the top of the league there. So a win today would have put us right up there. So of course disappointing, but look, we've got another game on Sunday we have to get ready for.
Well, Harry Kane describes it as the story of the season for Tottenham, and we can see there it's the 10th point that they've dropped from winning positions. That's now 5 times this season in 5 separate games, Glenn. When Tottenham have gone ahead, they've failed to take all 3 points. And Harry Kane describes it there as we panic a bit and we drop too deep. How can they correct that?
Well, I think the panic, they need more possession of the ball. And I think, as I said before, they need a freedom in their minds. I think it's a mental thing. Now get into a situation where they're dropping too deep, as you said. I think Harry drops too deep at times as well. You know, it's all right, I'm arriving in that position. Second half, he played too deep for my liking. I like him when he comes into them positions, but not to stand in there and be in there. Then consequently, the whole back 4 go a little bit deeper. But I think it's more than that. I think that when they're 1-0 up, they're caught in between two stools. They're not sure whether to keep the handbrake on and see the game out. Well, that's not working. They've dropped the 10 points. So they've got to look at it a different way and let Aurier go a little bit down the right side. They let Reguilon go, but they're very unbalanced in the way they attack when they're 1-0 up. I've seen it before. They seem to tuck Aurier in, or whoever's playing right back, and they let the left side go, where I think they've got to take a little bit more of a risk to earn that second goal and then go and win the points.
Do you think that with what Harry Kane's just said there, that signifies that this is a player mentality and not the fact that Jose Mourinho is telling them to put the handbrake on when they're ahead?
I think it's the opposite. I think it's the manager. And I think that when the manager continues to, say you go 1-0 up, 2-0 up, when the manager after 50 minutes, 55, 60 minutes, look how many times Ndombele gets brought off after an hour. It's virtually every single game. Today, he lasted about 70 minutes and me and Glenn were quite astonished. But all the time, Jose Mourinho will go 1-0 up, he'll bring his attacking midfielder up and he'll put another sitting midfielder on. And if you keep doing that, that just sends a subliminal message to a player that, right, you know, we're defending. We're gonna, you know, we're not thinking of going to score the second goal, and that seed just plants in your mind time after time after time. So I think that they've got to free themselves of that. And do you know what? Once in a while, go and put a centre forward on or something, and make the, you know, because they often say, don't they, attack is the best form of defence.
Yeah, I think they've got to have a little bit of a conflab on that, and I think that, you know, Harry Kane, the experienced players, have got to ask the manager. If the manager isn't actually saying, look, I prefer to sit tight and we try and win the game 1-0, you know, and I'll make the substitutions as I see fit from the bench, or ask him the question, what do you want us to do, Gaffer? Are we going to go for the throat? Because at the moment they look as if they're in two minds. They really are, and I just think they've got to get a real 100% clarity from the manager. Are we going for it to get the second and kill this game off? Because it could be a season of what could have been. If you're looking at them 10 points that we just showed, if that continues, they'll look back and they'll go, wow, what could have that been if we'd have just, from those winning positions, got those points that we should have done, if they'd have gone for the throat, if they'd have had the freedom to go and play. Because when they go 1-1, then they turn it round and they start putting bodies forward, they start playing aggressive with the passing. So it's in there waiting to come out.
How difficult is that, Michael, though, as a player in a dressing room, to go to the manager and say, hang on a minute, I think we should do it this way instead?
Yeah, well, it's the way you do it, and it's got to be a certain type of player. I suppose Harry Kane could do it. It's the way you ask.
I didn't mean this. You know, this is, ask the manager what you want.
Right.
We're a little bit sort of crossover here. What do you want us to do? Because it seems to me as if there's a bit of the team want to go and attack, and the other team want to sort of, you know, defend a little bit. And there needs to be clarity. It's not we made this decision, Gaffer. What do you want us to do? What's our mentality about? Are we going to hang on to this 1-0 and really defend deep and really play like we're playing against, like they did at Stamford Bridge when we saw them bank up so deep? Do you want us to play like that and try and hit them on the counter and get the second goal? Because at the moment they're in between and it's not working.
So does there need to be more clarity, therefore, then, Michael, between the manager and the players on how they approach games when they're ahead?
Yeah, possibly, but I watch Tottenham and watch them a lot, and often think to myself, as soon as they go 1-0 up, I'm just waiting and I'm just looking on the side of the pitch to see what's the next defensive move. So if I'm thinking that, what's Harry Kane thinking? I mean, he's actually played it quite